Have you ever had a boss who asks for your input and when you give it, she interrupts you or he interrupts you over and over again? Mine did that, and I decided to teach her something new, a tool that helps me all the time. Recently, I had my evaluation, and while I was sitting there at the end of the meeting, I asked her, we have a situation at work, so I asked her if she would like to hear my input on it. And as I started to give her my input, she would interrupt me and start taking me to this other place. She's brilliant. She thinks up something, you give her a little challenge, and she just can go in 1,000 directions on how to make that work. I know some of you can relate to this. As I started to tell her my input, she would interrupt and start talking about the situation from her point of view and how much she'd been doing in it. There was no question that she'd been doing a lot, but I just wanted to be heard. And so I said, "Can I finish?" And I would start to talk, and she'd interrupt again, and she'd go off on another tangent. And eventually, I finally said to her, "I'm not going to say anything else. I thought you wanted my input, but I can see that you're having a difficult time following it." And she said, "No, no, no." And I said, "I'm just going to give you an example. Here's the three things that you said." And I named three things that she had talked about in the time that I was supposed to be giving her my input. Is that what you're meaning to say? And she said, "Yeah, that's exactly what I was talking about." I said, "Okay, think about what I've just told you and tell me three things about that from what you heard from me, three things that you learned." And she goes, uh, "I can't think of anything." And I said, "This is the difference between hearing me and actually listening to me. So let's practice it. Can I finish what I wanted to share with you?" And she said, "Yeah, yeah, yeah." And I said, "Can you really try not to interrupt me? I'm not challenging you. I'm just giving you some feedback." Okay. So she said, "Sure, let's try it." So I started talking again. And when I finished, I said, "Tell me three things that you heard me say. And then I want you to end it with, did I get this right?" And she did it. She said, this, and this. Did I get it right? And I said, "You did. You were listening." That's the difference between hearing and listening. I'm not saying that we can do that with every boss. I happen to love my boss. She loves me. But I do know that the more we practice this, not only are we being respectful to them, but we're being respectful to ourselves. It helps us to hear back what they are saying. Once you get the hang of it, to actually listen, if you were being the person listening, it might help with your kids or your relationships even, is to actually listen and listen for three things and then repeat it back to them. "Hey, what I heard you saying was this, and this. Am I getting it right? Is that what you were trying to say?" It gives such clarity to both you as the listener and them as the speaker because they actually get to hear what they are saying. Because I know sometimes when I get on a rant, I have no idea what I'm saying. I can remember with letters that I've gotten or emails from people, and I'm like, I have no idea what this is saying. And I would use AI to say, "Please tell me what this is saying." So this is a quick way to do that in real time. I'll just go through it again. In these situations, you can ask people to listen. You're creating boundaries that way to protect yourself and them. And it kind of takes the flame out of a lot of conversations. Be respectful and direct. And feel free absolutely to admire and appreciate their gifts. For my boss, she's a brilliant idea person. She'll just grab an idea and just run with it. Her area of improvement is that she needs to stop, look, and listen to what other people are saying so that she can understand where she is getting that information into, because there's a big break in how some of us communicate. This helps us bring it back. Step two, and this is just how we do it, is be sure to ask their permission. "Can I speak to you about what's going on here?" You can also tell them, "I want you to listen and then tell me back what you heard." This makes it clear how the conversation will work, and you don't apologize for it. Please don't apologize. I have another coworker. She, when she finally gets the courage to say what's on her mind, which is always smart, what she has to say, she apologizes immediately. I'm like, no, no apology here. You are speaking your mind, and you're speaking it clearly, with confidence, and with compassion. Speak it. And if they interrupt, be courageous enough to say, "Hold it. I just need you to listen here. I promise I'll give you a chance to talk." And then remember to ask them, what are the three things that I've just said? Tell me back what you heard. Did I get it right? And once you start practicing this, practice it with your kids, practice it with your housemates, your mates, your coworkers, you will find that your communication is going to be way bigger and you're teaching them something really useful in their lives. So, how does that feel? I think that you guys are going to do great with this. Try this tool anytime and see if you don't really feel listened to.